I'm Dolly Singh and you're watching me on the Femina X Grazia virtual beauty event. I'm going to show you how to find your voice in a space which is crowded with loud voices. Now, I'm not an expert, but I've made a little progress which I'm going to share with you. Let's take the questions now. Question number 1. The field of digital content creation has expanded in the last few years and it's quite crowded now. Everyone has their own style and tone. How do you make sure you stay unique with what you do? Now, this can be difficult because especially this time right now, trends is what goes on, right? Like you participate in a trend, you be a part of the trend and you feel like you're doing enough. And it's very difficult to get out of that as well, even if you try to have, to make content which is just your own, because you feel like it won't get as many numbers and as many likes and as much engagement. So I understand that it can be very difficult, but it's also very important to make content that you, that portrays you, reflects you, even if you're participating in trends. For example, when I do some trends, I try to give it my own twist. I would, have my mother character in it, or some father character in it, or some joke in it, and that's reflective of who I am. I try to find comedy in that. Similarly, if you're making some content, you can either also balance it with trends and with what you want to do, but I feel like genuine following comes from only when people can see them in you, and when your content is original and it's you, and it kind of is a part of you, Agar aap ऊपर से content बनाएंगे and you'll just participate in whatever is happening right now, I think it becomes very difficult for the audience also to connect to you. They won't really connect to you. They'll just watch maybe your content, like it a few times, but that real connection only comes when you're being real on screen. So make sure that whatever content you're making, whether it's fashion or lifestyle or comedy, or even dance videos, it shows a little bit of who you are. I think that's very important. And yeah, maybe initially you'll feel like, nah, this is not working, this is not getting as many numbers, my trend videos are getting more numbers. I understand that, but in the long run, it will really help. So make sure you do that. I don't know why I'm sitting like this and talking like I know too much. I don't. I'm also figuring this out as we speak. But yeah. Question number 2. What is your process of narrowing down on a character? Characters is something I feel like it's become a little old now. No one really makes characters anymore. But when I making characters, my whole point of it was to create someone who was aspirational in some way. And so whether it is Zeenat or a Raju ki mummy or a Goody bhabhi, I always made sure these are women who may have messed up lives, but at the end of it they stand their ground and they stand for who they are. I think that was very important for me. And even if I do auntie videos, which are very, all of these are stereotypical, but I try to show that this is not who you should be. And, when you're growing old or just like judging others, whether you're an auntie or not, is definitely not cool. So I feel like when writing my characters, I definitely make sure that they are someone who I want to be. Like a Zeenat is someone who I would love to be. She's so bold and so out there, and she has nothing to hide, she talks her heart out. Same with Goody bhabhi. If you really look at it, her life is not the best. Her mother-in-law is a what do I say? I think it's a very, very normal scenario, especially in Indian households, to come to live in to live with your in-laws who are not the best, and you don't have the best life with them. She has a husband who clearly cheats on her. She's talked about it. So at the same time, she's living that life, she's very clear about मैंने इतना दहेज दिया है तो मैं इतना ROI लूँगी, and I'm gonna swipe the card, and yeah, it may seem like a very shopping कर रही है पति के पैसे से, but at the same time she's trying to take her own revenge and she's trying to move on, and maybe she'll find a way. So yeah, I try to write my characters like that, and I do think a lot about what this character's life looks like behind the screen. You know, I mean, you wouldn't know that Goody Bhabhi lives a sad life, or that Zeenat has daddy issues, or that Raju ki mummy has a husband who probably isn't very fond of her. So yeah, I mean, if you really look at them, they reflect our society very nicely, I hope. And that is what I've seen and I've suffered and I've been through. Not the in-laws part, but yeah, so I try to write my characters who are definitely a reflection of the society we live in, and definitely something that I want to connect with. A Goody Bhabhi and a Zeenat would be someone I would love to be friends with. Raju ki mummy was a lot was inspired from my mom. So yeah, that is how I narrow down on my characters. Third question: the pandemic has hit us all hard. We have been dealing with uncertainty, sorrow, and isolation. How do you use your work as a tool to keep you centered? Now, this is hard. Okay, so my work is to make these videos, which I love. But I think pandemic and lockdown was hard for everyone. I think none of us were spared. And even though we have to, you know, the hard part was actually to make videos where you look like you're okay and you're having fun and you're cracking jokes, but on the inside you're dying. Sometimes it gets very difficult to detach yourself and act on screen while you are kind of going through something in reality. But at the same time, you know, in pandemic I got a lot of messages where people said that my videos were their only way of I don't know, you know, they brought a smile to their faces or made them feel better, and that was so motivating. And I felt like, if not for myself, I'm doing it for them, for my viewers who come to my account and watch these videos just to feel a little better about the situation. And I took that responsibility. Also in the second lockdown especially, I felt like just making videos or shooting or getting to work was my way of dealing with my own personal problems. Like, I felt like if I have a routine, if I wake up every day, do my makeup and start shooting, I felt like there was some sense of you know, life there, that it was just not like blah, and I had some kind of routine to fall back to and work that I had to do. So I think they saved me as well as well as my audience, whoever watched them and felt better. So that's how I dealt with it. What are the important life lessons you've learned through being in the public eye? A lot of life lessons. As much as I enjoy my work, I don't think I like being in the public. I'm not saying it because, I mean, I don't know how to put it. I love the people who follow me. I love engaging with those people, and it's so nice to hear them out. And you know, a lot of people message you saying you're so relatable and I relate to this story, and it's so nice because sometimes, and growing up especially, you feel like you're the only one going through something, while it's not. A lot of people go through the same thing. So just that sense of you know, a community that you build, I think that's beautiful. At the same time, I do feel that there's a lot of drama, a lot of hate, especially on the internet, which can get to you and has gotten to me a lot of times. So that is something I am trying to work on. I also have realized big time that I'm an introvert. I mean, growing up, I didn't realize it as much because I was surrounded by so many people. I wasn't talked about by so many people. And now that I am, I suddenly, you know, I would feel like, and I've had therapy about it, where I discussed with my therapist that why is it that I'm on camera and I'm completely fine, or when I'm acting I'm completely fine and I'm this different person, and then suddenly when I'm in crowds or at parties or at events, I don't feel like I want to be a part of it, and I stand in a corner. Yeah, so sometimes I feel like I wish I could stay away from all this, in the sense the offline things, you know, when you have to meet a lot of people, and as much as I like that, some things I don't enjoy. So those have been my learning, so I'm coming to terms with it. A lot of people have said to my face that, oh, you're not as fun in real life. Oh, you're not as bubbly in real life, you know. Like backhanded compliments. So it really hurt me in the beginning. Oh, and I would you know, have like a fake persona going at parties कि नहीं चलो मैं भी कोशिश करती हूँ to try to be as fun and quirky and whatever, but I've realized that there's no point doing that because that's not really me, and I'm just faking it. So I've just come to terms with the fact that on camera and when I'm acting and doing this creative work, I enjoy that and I love that and I love these characters, but at the same time that's not really who I am. So that's my learning. Yeah, okay. How important is it for content to resonate with your personality? How do you ensure that when you produce videos and posts? Like I said, I think it's very important to have your personality peek out of your content, because otherwise I don't think it works. Like I don't think content where people know that you're being fake, and they know. So I don't think that works. At the end, like मैंने भी ऐसी चीज़ें try करी हैं in life while making content which are not really me, but I'm like अरे ये चल रहा है तो इसको कर लो, हम भी इसमें participate कर लेते हैं, you know, बहती गंगा में हाथ धोना basically. But I don't think that ever works. So I make sure that whatever I do, it comes from within. A lot of people have a you know, they think that I only make content on social issues and messages ya kuch to, but I don't know why. This is how I think. When I think of a new concept, most of the times, especially in my longer videos, which I love doing, I don't know why I start with a thought, with a message, and that's how I build my videos. So even though I want to make them like fun and crazy and wacky, I end up with a message. So that's just my thing, and I think it's okay, you know, and that's just my personality. That's how I write as a writer. And so ठीक है, अब I have now that I have this much following, I think I have a lot of privilege also, and a new content creator will not have that privilege, and I understand that because I started this 6 years ago and I did not have a lot of privilege in terms of deciding what to do and being like, oh, this is me, I'm gonna be me. ऐसा नहीं होता है. So initially it's hard, but now that I have this position that my followers have given me, I can make these decisions and I can make sure that whatever I do has a part of me in it. So yeah, thank you if you follow me. Do you think your social media popularity has somewhere influenced your thoughts and opinions? How do you make certain that your voice is clear? I think, I don't know if it has changed my voice. In fact, it has given me a voice. पहले मैं उतनी शायद aware नहीं थी. I was not educated enough on a lot of things, and now I am. And that has come from the responsibility I have. Like, you know, 1 million people follow me. Of course, I have a lot of responsibility, and I take it. I love that, and I enjoy it, and I also hopefully make sure I don't misuse it. ऐसा नहीं है कि मैंने गलतियाँ नहीं की हैं. I must have made a lot of mistakes in life and in general, in terms of putting something out there. But I try to make sure that whatever I put out is, what do I say? It's completely my opinion and also not something stupid, you know, not something problematic and offensive. So that, I think that voice has definitely come to me. And I found it while being a content creator and having people follow me. Because कई बार I feel like if I didn't have so many people looking at me, would I have been this person? Maybe not. Maybe I would have been a jerk for all I know. I don't know, you know, I don't know. But I do feel that it has given me a responsibility which I cherish, and I hope to live up to it. What was the second part of the question? How do you make certain that your voice is clear? I think I try not to be vague about things. If I have a particular opinion on something, I am very, very clear about it. And I will stand my ground unless I'm being corrected and I stand corrected on some things. ऐसा भी होता है, obviously. I'm a human being, I can make mistakes. But apart from that, I feel like I do keep like unless if I don't know much about something, I try not to speak about it. I've made those mistakes in the past, but at least now I don't try to talk about literally everything that is going on. So yeah, I guess that's how I find my voice. I only talk when I know about something. I hope. I keep saying I hope because it's so subjective, and yeah, and people might have opinions about the same, that oh no, you talked about this but you had nothing, you knew nothing about it. But मुझे लगा कि मुझे पता था और मैंने पढ़ा था. A lot of times people assume that when influencers talk about something, they don't really read about it and they're unaware. But I try to read. अपने बारे में तो बोल सकती हूँ. I don't know about other people. But this is something new, you know, like we are also trying to see how this is gonna work and see what's gonna work and what's not gonna work. Should we talk about this? Should we not talk about this? So I think it's very important to acknowledge that creators or anyone with a big following is also learning. He's also a person who is trying to educate themselves. Call them out when they, you know, make a mistake, when they say something like that. But also acknowledge that they are also trying to educate themselves, and if you can help educate them, please do. Like, I love it when people try to correct me and send me sources of stuff that is being talked about. I know I've gone a little like in a different direction altogether, but yeah, I think we're all trying, is what I'm gonna say. Is confidence a hard-won personality attribute? How did you find your stride? Confidence is something that I have toyed with all my life. Growing up, I did not have much. While on stage, I had a lot. Then in college, zero. I started my blog, and within a few years of that, my fashion blog, I had a lot of confidence. Like, I would wear these wacky, weird, unique combinations of clothes and go out and, you know, like, and own it, you know, like no one could really point a finger at me, and I would be like, this is who I am, and that was me. At the same time, then when we started making videos and you know, especially now in the lockdown, I think a lot of hate has increased, and to be honest, my confidence has gone down a lot. Like, I really think about what I want to put out, and there are a lot of opinions about you on the internet, and it can bring anyone down. so my confidence right now is at maybe like from a 0 to 10, it's at a 5, and I've had it much higher as well in life. So I think confidence is something that you don't like, it's not something that you get and then you're like, it's mine now, you know, like it's not something that gets stuck with you forever. It can be, it's dwindling. Like, I don't know if that's the right word to use. My English is not the best, but it can keep changing for you, you know, and for me right now, my confidence isn't at best, but it's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm surviving, and I get so much confidence from, you know, looking at other people on the internet when they are themselves and when they just own it, you know, and are just there. And so I'm trying to get confidence from other creators and other people on the internet, so it's okay. I think winning confidence is not really a thing. You win it, it goes back. You win it again, it goes back. So I think that's where I'm at right now. Why is this your chosen field? What makes you wake up every day staying on this course? I don't know why I chose it. I don't think I chose it. It happened to me by accident, as I say. At the same time, I do know now, after hours of therapy, is that this is who I was supposed to be. This is what I was supposed to be doing. I've literally talked to non-living things in my washroom as a child. So if video making wasn't something I was gonna do growing up, then I don't know, it would have been wrong. I honestly love what I do. I love making videos. I love writing videos and even directing and producing stuff. So I think this is definitely where I belong and definitely something I enjoy. and I think that's what keeps me going. And then people, like sweet people on the internet, who message me saying they are looking forward to my videos, or sometimes when I don't post, they message me, hey, where is the video for today? So I think that's what keeps me going, all the love and support. Some people have been following me for years, you know, when I had a fashion blog, then they also moved and grew up with my content, and I think that's just motivating enough for me. Is there any advice you've ever been given that you are now happy you did not listen to? I've mostly been the person who does not listen to any advice. Like, in the end, I do what I want to do. I will listen to advice, but I will make sure I only do what I want to do. I think the advice I'm glad I didn't take was from my parents. They have a certain kind of knowledge about the world and how it functions, so they have given me a lot of advice growing up about aisa kar lo, waisa kar lo, science le lo, ye video kya bana rahe ho, you know, aise kapde kyun pehen rahe ho, all of that, and I think we all get that. It's not new for me, and I'm just glad I did not do that. I'm just glad I did not stick to that advice or stick to trying to fit in. I remember I did my fashion blog for at least 3.5 years before my parents knew, and yes, I do have a lot of, what do I say, I had the setting where it worked, because I was living away from them. They were not very internet savvy. They had those old phones with just buttons, so they couldn't really see my blog. So I did use that a lot, you know, I misuse that information in life. But yeah, if I would have stuck to the advice given by my parents or even my teachers, even at NIFT, you know, my teachers were not very fond of the blog or extra things that I was doing aside, because to them it was just like, focus on your studies, focus on your assignments, and I definitely had a lot of other things going on. So that's advice that I'm glad I did not listen to. I was a rebel. No, I was not. I don't know. I was rebelling in my own way. But yeah, that's just, I think, don't let people tell you what you can and cannot do. Decide for yourselves. I'm saying this as if I'm some, I don't know who, but please make your own choices in life. I think that's very important. And with that, I'm gonna end this, and I had so much fun answering these questions. Once again, I'm not an expert. This is just a very, very personal opinion. Take it or leave it. And I hope you enjoyed the video. See you.